Yeah, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Thanks for tuning into another episode of Zone Coverage Podcast with your boy Zoe Phillips, man. Look, good day today, man. Got a lot of good news, man. Y'all come on in and holler at your boy. Gonna get into a little HBCU uh landscape today, man. Go do things a little bit different here this evening, man. Y'all come on in and hey, we got the big news today, man. Uh, been waiting for this news to break. And as you guys know, man, we never gonna really jump ahead of anybody at JSU, but yeah, big news got leaked out, man. Got JSU and Grambling up in Vegas. We're gonna get into that, man. That's a huge deal, man. Whether a lot of people really realize it or not, it's a pretty big deal though in this HBCU uh in this HBCU space, man. Huge deal. I actually got some other things got released today, man. I know Alcorn released their schedule yesterday. We're gonna break that down and go over that. And got another game that was announced by JSU. You guys can hear me. Let me move, get my mic up over here. My bad. All right, you hear me a little bit better now? And man, we got like I said, got the Southern Miss announcement today. Uh, And tell you what, man, the same day of that game, the Jack State plays Grambling, man, that's a huge weekend within the SWAC. We'll get into some more MEAC games as the more schedules actually break through and come through. But man, it's going to be a huge weekend, that particular weekend in October. And get to a little basketball too, man. And we're going to get some of you guys to come up today, man, if y'all down to. Y'all down to come up. I'm going to drop the link, man, for any of y'all want to get up and we'll actually get into it. Southbound, what's going on? Thetis Hardy, what's up? Yeah, it is a revenge tour. And look, all Jacksonians should feel real good about their game, knowing it's at a neutral site, not in the hole, because as you guys know, the hole is a house of horrors for us. And so being that game is going to be in Vegas, and I think it's going to be a monumental game. No, it's not the first HBCU game in Vegas, but this game here in particular, it's going to be huge because in the past there have been games in LA at the Coliseum. I believe Morehouse played out there once. There have been some D2 schools. Grambling has been out there in California and played, some other PWIs, but to put a marquee blue blood matchup, man, in Vegas, it's gonna be pretty monumental. So go ahead and drop some info, man. Look, we got word of the game actually coming through, and we're gonna actually get into it. Um, move this over here right quick for you guys. All right, here we go. As you guys can see, man, excuse me, got the announcement, man, and the news was broke by Ken Rashad. Ken Rashad pretty much put it out there on HBCU Sports, man. As you can see, HBCU football rivals Grambling and Jack State to meet in Las Vegas, and we'll actually meet, as you can see, in Vegas on October 25th. And show here where you see the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the Visitors Bureau. They were a key, sponsor with it, donating $350,000 to the game. Hearing word right now that the payouts, I've heard different things. I've heard $1 million. I've also heard $750,000. So for each school, it's gonna be major payout. For a non-conference game. I've actually seen some language from a few people here and there, saying they think the game is kind of crazy for Grambling and Jack State to be so close and playing a game so far away. And look, it's all positives that I can actually see that can reap from this game. You look at everything that's been going on with regards to spreading the HBCU, culture, out on the West Coast to make it more attractive to and invite, more West Coast kids to HBCU culture. I think it's a great thing. You got the Honda Battle of the Bands, which is going to be in LA next month at the Rams Stadium. It's going to be a huge event. I think it's going to be packed. You just had the boom out there on New Year's Day for the Rose Bowl parade, and it's riding momentum, right? You have the boom out there. Literally, you're gonna have the Honda Battle of the Bands. You're gonna have Southern, some other great names out there next month, recruiting kids, getting the buzz out there for this HBCU culture out on the West Coast. And now you're talking about taking one of the marquee matchups, a rivalry, a great rivalry, which I think, believe it or not, I think this game will do better in Vegas than what it did in Grambling last year. I think the game this past season where we came up short and Jack State lost, I think that game, I want to say that game drew about 13,000 fans. Grambling Stadium only holds 19,600 at capacity, and that game drew about 13,000 if memory serves me correct. And Grambling and Southern, and we'll touch on that too. They both have great fan bases and great alumni bases, and just a lot of Louisiana natives in California and Nevada. And you have quite a few Mississippians in California too, but way more people from Louisiana, way more natives from Louisiana out on the West Coast than you do Mississippi due to the Great Migration. And so every time that Grambling has been out there, whether it was them playing California or them playing San Jose State a few years ago, and even when they went out there and played last time they went out on the West Coast, I believe is when they played Arizona, back when Kincaid was the quarterback. I think that was roughly about 2009, 2010, I believe. A little bit further than that. No. I'm wrong. Further than that, about 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. 15, 16, somewhere around there. They play Arizona. They actually almost won the game, and they had a great contingent out there for that game. So again, it's a blue blood matchup. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking excited to it. And I think this game is going to do great numbers out in Vegas. And I tell you another little tidbit. I really, really hope that the Raiders draft Deion Sanders, because that's another tie-in into the game. What if you have Deion Sanders drafted to the Raiders? The starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders is a former player at Jackson State. You're talking about having Shedeur at that game, possibly could be willing to, to do some things for the team while they're there. It just adds more intrigue to the game. And the game is in October. I think the timing is really, really good for that particular game. October 25th, toward the latter end of the season too, in Vegas, dead set in the NFL season. We're looking forward to hope that the Raiders actually have a game on that Sunday, because that'll be dope too. Because again, what if that's a thing what should do again could possibly, if he's drafted by the Raiders, talk about possibly doing something, for the team if he's there. But man, this game it's a huge game, and that Jackson State Grambling game goes back quite a bit, and they're tied to each other. Grambling has pretty much dominated the series against Jackson State, and Jackson State has had their greatest success against Grambling at the Vet and away from the hole, we should say. They both joined the SWAC in the same year, which was 1955. And since that time, both of those teams have dominated the SWAC. Since that time, you look at the SWAC, you talk about the big three. You have Southern, Grambling, and Jackson State. Being that Southern was already in the conference, I believe about 11 or 12 years before Jack State and Grambling both joined in 1955. And since that time, Grambling has been the dominant team within the conference. Grambling now stand leading the conference in championships with 25 championships. Then you have Southern and Jackson State coming back in second and third place. No, they're tied now. Both tied with 20 titles right now. And so again, you look at what Grambling and Jack State has done collectively. Those two schools have been the dominant force since they both joined the league. You look at that time, both schools have had, by far and away the most players drafted to the NFL. Both schools lead, the numbers with regards to NFL Hall of Famers, players drafted. The one caveat that Grambling has is, Grambling has put roughly, I believe, about 226 players into the NFL. Coming just short of Tennessee State with players drafted, but they've put in about 226 players into the NFL. You look at that, man, and just what they've done from offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year. These it literally it's a blue blood slugfest, and I think it's going to be a damn good product to actually put, in Vegas. The only downer, or at least right now, would be the band matchup. I mean, because the boom will blow them away, but the World Fame has the reputation, but that's all it is right now, just reputation. But we can hope and pray that they can have a better rendition of the World Fame next season as compared to what they had, last season. And it's like a football team. They change from year to year, and we can hope that they can put up a better product for next season for that game. But nonetheless, I hope they have a battle of the bands, which I'm sure they will, because I can assure you they'll have a lot of recruiting efforts for regular students, as well as, I'm sure the coaches, when they get there, both Grambling and Jackson State, will do some recruiting in Vegas and probably even reach out to some kids in California while they're there, or try to get some kids in California to actually make the 3.5 hour trip over to Vegas from LA, if possible. And we have 2 coaches from California on staff. So, and we're recruiting California pretty good as it is now. But I also think, even with this game being played in Vegas, I even think it's a good thing just for HBCU football overall. I think Deshaun Jackson could benefit from this game being played in Vegas, because, again, you're talking about creating an olive branch just for HBCU football and HBCU culture on the West Coast. And we aren't the only schools, in the HBCU landscape. I think with these 2 marquee programs, I think if the game is attended well, it opens the eyes for other kids to take a look at other schools, within the HBCU space. So, I think Deshaun Jackson can use that game, even himself being a native LA kid, and, being as popular as he is in Southern California, to use that game, especially if it's a good game, with HBCU. I really think he could benefit from that as well. And so, again, and I'll even say this: I remember a particular coach that we had before we got Coach Prime. I won't just get into who it was, but I remember specifically, him telling me, that we, Jackson State, would never recruit California and never recruit Miami. And for a long time, it was like, why? Because, again, when you talk about football talent, you're literally talking about the biggest names, the biggest producers of football talent is Florida, Texas, and California. Georgia's coming up now. And then when we get into per capita, there's different hot pockets, right? Mississippi is great in per capita. Louisiana is great per capita. The 757 is great per capita. Maryland is great per capita. So we know other little hot spots. Virginia has good talent, right? But that's just the game changer with it, right? So definitely looking forward to this game, man. If you guys are in the chat, man, will you guys give your opinions of what you think about the game? All my Jacksonians, who all is gonna make that trip to Vegas? And if we got any Grambling Knights in here, man, go ahead and let me know if y'all gonna make that trek out west to the west side, land out there and say yay, yay, like Q. But yeah, man, and look, I'm gonna tell y'all too. That flight to Vegas, if you're in Atlanta or all these other major cities, man, that flight to Vegas is not bad. But if you're in like Baton Rouge or Jackson, it might hit you a little bit, but you might get lucky. But man, go ahead and book those rooms. I'm telling you now, because if the football season, if the schedule comes out, if the Raiders get Shedeur Sanders, excuse me, and if they got a home game against a good opponent, whoo, look out. And Vegas is already crazy every weekend anyway, but it's gonna make for a damn good trip. I'm just really, really interested to see and want to know who will Jackson State play the week before that Grambling game and the week after that game. That's going to be really, really intriguing, interesting to know. But it's going to be a good game, though. I mean, you look at both teams. Jackson State is the defending national champion, defending SWAC champion, and then Grambling was the only team in the conference to beat us. It was a non-conference game, and now you're talking about Grambling and what they're going to look like. Hey, it's Mickey Joseph's second year. They beat Jackson State last season. They made some changes on offense. They got rid of Dooley, and we're going to see what they're going to do a week from today with regards to recruiting day and what that team is going to look like. It's a second season, so I'm pretty much sure that they'll be. I expect for them to have a better product on the field than what they did last season. All right. And they're gonna break in another quarterback. They got T-Set from Southern. They got I forgot. They got Sullivan. No, not Sullivan. They got Ty Keys. They got Ty Keys from formerly from Southern Miss, went to East Mississippi. So they brought in 2 quarterbacks. It's gonna look to see what they're gonna do. But I expect Grambling to have a better product. And unlike the game last season, this game is toward the end of the season. So it's gonna make for a damn good game, right? And look at me. Yeah, I see it. The direct 5 duel is gonna be clutch. Yeah. So looking forward to it. Cannot wait for that particular game, man. You saw someone on JSU commit 6'4". Oh, you talking about the wide receiver? Yeah, we saw he decommitted. That just makes room for somebody else. Trust me when I tell you. While the host hotel seats alumni bases in Vegas, I have the slightest clue, but I can also tell you they probably I can assure you don't even have that etched in stone ready to go just yet. Typically, they won't have those utilized. They typically do it in the day, but I wouldn't suspect that that'll get done probably by the end of March. Definitely no later than April. What's up, Jesse? So we're really going to Vegas? My little brother saying it, but I know it's true. Yeah, it's true. We are going to Vegas. And we're gonna win more than just that game, man. Gonna hit up a couple of slots too. For some reason, folks don't realize this. You know what? That's a damn good point. We're already recruiting California pretty good. Coach Mario, like I said, from Southern Cal, and Coach Morton, who the recruiting coordinator, has been doing a bang up job, for Jack State in regards to recruiting and some of the players that we've been getting. So, and even for Grambling and Southern, like I said, because they have so many Louisiana natives in California, those 2 schools have always been recruiting California. Maybe not just sitting a coach out there and really going after a ton of talent, but they've naturally already had like built-in ties because of family, right? To Louisiana, that they could go out and get some kids. They always have, but now this hits different when you're talking about purposely having events and games out there. And this is not Grambling going to play California, or Grambling playing San Jose State, or going to play Stanford, right? This is a true like heavyweight HBCU game. And just give an example. What if let's see, October 25th, that will be the last Saturday in October. So you're talking about, at this point in time, that's a definite 7 games, right? Bare minimum. 7 games, maybe 8 games. So let's say 8 games. And you're talking about, let's just say, for example, what if Jack State is 7-1 and Grambling is 7-1, or Grambling is 6-2 and Jack State 7-1? Going to that game, out in Vegas. I mean, that's only going to make that game even more attractive. The only thing that'll hurt, obviously, if one of the schools are really, really suffering with a losing record, or if both schools have a losing record. But I don't foresee that happening. I really, really don't. I think the game is going to be really, really attractive, man. Really, really attractive. So we got here. Yeah, Morehouse. I'm say played in San Diego. I think Morehouse has actually played in LA too. I think one time they had a HBCU game in California, but it was 2D2s, if memory serves me correct. Morehouse and Prairie View. That's who it was. I stand corrected. Morehouse and Prairie View. And again, we're talking about an attractive game, though, right? So, that's the main difference. Tells you to reach that schedule, man. Look, it's coming. It's coming pretty soon. You ain't got to worry about that. We ain't got to worry about that. No, it's a non-conference game. It's not a conference game. But then again, it could be. I know I don't think so because I know we'll be playing Southern again. But Southern could be coming on as a conference opponent this season as well. So I'm unsure. But if I had to venture, I would say it's not. But I really don't think it would be. But I don't think it is. So I'm gonna venture on the side to say, nah, it's not a conference game at the moment. I'm gonna say that right now. But yeah, man, I just wanted to roll with that. And then too, since we're sitting here talking about it, man, look, another announcement. OBC made the announcement today, as you guys can see. Look, August 30th, FAMU and Howard, a rematch of the 2023 Celebration Bowl. All right. And FAMU won that game going away. And so FAMU decides to make the return back to the OBC, which is the classic that they're familiar with, Orange Blossom Classic. And I think it's going to be a good game. I really, really do. It's going to be a statement game. I can tell you that. First game of the season. You know, both teams going into this upcoming season with something to prove. You're talking about Howard, who didn't finish the way that they want to. Larry Scott going to now, I believe, it's his third season. And this is a make or break year. You know, you get to, it's his fourth season. I think it's his third season. I mean, you're talking about, you know, going to the Celebration Bowl and then just falling off the truck last season. And, you know, FAMU really regressed last season. But again, it's the first year of a regime, right? So now you're trying to look to see what that's going to look like in Cozy's second year. You know, it made some changes. You know, you got rid of the OC, made some other changes on the staff. And FAMU's recruiting pretty good right now, too. It's interested to see who they're going to bring in at quarterback to see what that's going to look like. But, man, let me tell you, I mean, it's going to make for a damn good game. It's a statement game. And I tell you what, room for FAMU to win this game. But, man, let me tell you, if FAMU loses this game, wow, it's going to really apply some pressure on Cozy. Unsure of who FAMU is going to play the week after that or what their non-conference slate. But I tell you what, if things hold true to what they've been doing, the same pattern, they're going to follow that game up with Howard, probably a strong FBS opponent. And I'm sorry, man, it just doesn't bode well to start the season 0-3 and 0-4. Even though you may not have played in the conference games, it just doesn't do good for morale, especially when you get beat up. So, I mean, because every year now they've been playing like Miami or South Florida or Florida Atlantic or Florida International. They've been doing it for the past few years. So I'm really interested to see when FAMU drop their schedule, you know, what they're going to do and what that's going to look like. But again, nonetheless, it's a very, very attractive game. There's a few little rumors out there right now about the 2026 OBC. Really, really interested to see how that's going to pan out too. I'm looking like that, hearing some things about that 2026 game will be an all SWAC matchup. So interested to see how that's going to kind of go. But it's an attractive game, beautiful game. So kudos to Kendra Wright. She's doing the thing, man. The game is growing. Had a downpour last year. Was actually down there for the game with Alabama State and North Carolina Central, and you know, to watch watch that game last season and watch Central, you know, pull that game out, put the injury to Andrew Body, and I'm interested to see how Alabama State's going to do too with see if Andrew Body is actually coming back. But nonetheless, great game. And then I'll go here next, man. I'm gonna pull up Southern, man. Talked about this once before. We just want to pull the graphic up so you guys can see. You know, Southern announced their home slate, as you guys can see. I talked about this before, man. Southern, my Southern Jags, man, y'all got to do something this year. I mean, look, I wish Jack State home slate looked like this. Seriously, man, you guys, for all this talk about, the Jack State done what they did because the vet is so big, man, there is no excuse. Y'all went to the SWAC championship game last year. Understand you got some pieces to bring in, but man, with a home slate like this, man, you guys need to be doing 25,000. No less than 20,000 every home game this year. I mean, you open up with Bama State. You got Jack State at the end of September, which I'm thankful for that. Wish it was back in October, but hey, it is what it is. You got Alabama State, Jackson State, FAMU, Texas Southern, and Prairie View all at home. Man, that's bananas. It's bananas. And I'm wondering how they pulled that off because, man, they don't have to go to Texas at all. Think about that. I think they got Alcorn on the road. It's a nice schedule. So you know they're gonna play Alcorn on the road. You got Grambling, the Bayou Classic, and pretty much lets you know they're gonna play Pine Bluff and Pine Bluff. I mean, that's a doable schedule. Pine Bluff on the road, Grambling in the Big Easy. You got both Texas schools at home. You got FAMU at home, Jackson State at home, and Alabama State at home. So that lets you know you only got one each team, and whoever it is they're playing them on the road. And I would venture to say, because I hadn't seen them, I'm thinking they probably end up playing Bethune-Cookman or Valley. So, I mean, that's a very, very favorable schedule. But that home slate, man, is going to be, man, it's nice. That's nice. So, again, man, any Jaguars on here, listen, man, 20,000 this year. Ain't no excuse. No excuse at all. Man, Crook, I see you in the comments. You be telling you joking, you joning. You better tell everybody get their damn tickets. Because ain't no excuse for y'all that they had 20,000 fans every game this year. And look, I'm gonna drop this link too. For y'all, man. Anybody that want to come up. I'm gonna drop this link, man. Anybody want to come up? And but yeah, that's a beautiful slate, man. Beautiful slate. And I'm waiting to see what everybody looks like. And then too, I ain't got too fast. I want to say and mention too, man. Next year, as you can see, Southern Miss made their announcement too. They're gonna play Jackson State with a good payout. I heard some people complaining about that. You know, $375,000, which is actually a damn good payout for the opponent and the rate of travel. It's a damn good payout. And per the course too, when you're talking about playing a Sun Belt program, I like the game. Honestly, I would probably wish we schedule somebody else and schedule a home game. I, for one, wouldn't mind playing well, I can't say that because, you know, we're already playing Tuskegee, but I would have rather had another D2 at home. But I get it because you're already playing Tuskegee. It's good to have a FBS opponent. But this game is scheduled, and this is our second game, right? So it'll be the second game of the year for us, September the 6th. But I believe it's the third game for Southern Miss. So, good game. So we're just waiting for this schedule to get released. Hopefully sometime here next week. And while we're sitting here still talking about schedules, man, I go ahead and jump over here to this next one. We got got the Alcorn Braves, man. Alcorn got their schedule, and look, I watched Gino. Shout out to boys over at the Golden Helm Review. But I just talked about Southern and how great their home slate is. Look at Alcorn, and I gotta tell you, the front and the back end of that schedule is brutal. You know, unsure about the Northwestern State game. I think it's a winnable game, you know, depending on what they can do at the quarterback spot. But I think Alabama A&M, I think gonna be a tough out. It's gonna be a good game, but that second game for Alcorn is gonna say a lot. And look, you know they're gonna lose to Mississippi State. It's just go without saying. But I'm gonna say this: let's say Alcorn just so happens to win against Northwestern State, but that game against Alabama A&M was a must win. You know, because if they lose that game, you're talking about starting the season out 1-3. I'm sorry, 1-2. You know, or possibly 0-3. You know, I'm going to keep hope alive and say that they get Northwestern State, but I'm just throwing it out there, man. Again, this type of schedule, you don't want to start out 0-3, especially being 0-1 in conference. You know, I believe they'll, you know, clip UAPB, and then that game is Prairie View. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough game. That game against LU, look, we know it's homecoming. They'll get that with ease. You got that game against FAMU. That's going to be a tough one on the road. And last time Alcorn played there, they won that game. And then you actually get to Valley. Don't have a clue just yet of what Valley's going to look like. I know Nashville will just say, yeah, they'll get that game. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not going to say the same. But again, as of today, I'm going to say that. But, that could easily change, right? We don't know what Valley's going to do starting next week and over the summer. We don't know what kind of staff they'll bring in. But nonetheless, we're going to say that Alcorn get that game. But, man, those last four games are killer. I mean, high emotion, high energy, draining games, man. You talking about Texas Southern, Grambling, and JSU back to back to back to back. It's going to be tough. I think Texas Southern is going to be a sleeper in the West next year. I like what Chris Dishman did, and I even told him when I chopped it up with him about, man, he get a quarterback with the way, if he can recruit, man, the way what he likes to do on offense, what he likes to do on defense. I like the staff. If he gets some pieces in there, man, Texas Southern's going to be a tough out. And that's a tough game for Alcorn. And then you follow that up, man, you got to have Southern, Grambling, and Jackson State back to back to back. Man, that's crazy. Crazy. And you got both of them at home. That's going to be tough. Man, to get high like that 3 weeks in a row, I can tell you right now, I don't care how good the team is. Excuse me. I don't care how good the team is. They will not become unscathed in that 3-game stretch. It just won't happen. It's hard to get, emotionally high back to back to back like that. That's so like I said, it's a front and backloaded schedule, but those last 4 games are crazy. And to be honest with you, that FAMU game is going to be tough because understand they're playing at Lincoln in California. They're playing them for homecoming. That's going to be a cakewalk. But you got an ultimate trap game. You got FAMU right behind that. Man, the packaging on that is going to be tough. You got FAMU on the road after homecoming against a lowly opponent. I'm telling you, man, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. We're not going to get into I see Crook say it's going to be Alcorn going to be 4-8. Look, it's too early for that. For me, for anybody, right? I think, schedule prognostication, world record prognostications, I think that's way too early. I think just to kind of get an idea, man, of getting the roster settled, getting all the staff finalized. I think at that point in time, man, I'll actually wait until June to actually really, really get into it about seeing, what team, how everybody's going to finish up. And we'll get into all that too, man. Thursday, I think SU will take the West East next year. It's too early. It's too early. I think right now, I don't think the West will be like it was last season, but it's kind of hard to say because again, everybody's breaking in a brand new quarterback. But I think Texas Southern is going to be pretty decent. I think Prairie View, I'm really looking forward to see what Prairie View is going to look like, what they're going to do. I love the hire of Tremaine Jackson, like we did from a staff standpoint. I know they're going to sling the ball around, just kind of get an idea of what they're going to do and what kind of talent they're bringing in there to do it with. And year 1, too, So they're overhauled from what they were doing from last year to this year. But I think Prairie View is going to have something to say in the West. Right now I'm rolling with Southern just to, because they did win it. So far from what I know, they haven't lost a shit ton of stuff, but they got some good pieces coming back. And again, it's going to look like what they do next Wednesday and what they do from, through March and through the summer. But right now, man, I think between Texas Southern, I'm going to say Texas Southern, Prairie View, and Grambling. I got Alcorn on the fringe. I would put Alcorn higher, in that, they just got too many questions at quarterback, and I think if Alcorn gets something solidified, which they still can, if Alcorn gets something solidified, look, they got some players, they got a good backfield. Alcorn biggest question mark is, man, receiver and what they're gonna do at quarterback. I'm not real familiar on what all they lost on defense. I know they lost Malachi Bailey, but what did they bring in? They hit the JUCO market pretty tough. So I just think right now, but again, this is gonna change. I just think for right now, man, I got Southern. PV is unknown. I just like what the coach is doing, so I can't put them there yet. But right now, I'm gonna say Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern. But I got to take Southern, my dark horse, man, to really make some noise in the West next year. I mean, the East, man, man, the East is pretty much of the same. Jackson State, FAMU, Alabama A&M. I think I don't know. I don't know if Alabama State still has body, but Alabama State lost to DC, lost quite a few players on defense, and again, you can have a stout defense, man. If you can't do anything on offense, it kind of doesn't matter. But also, I think their defense might take a dip back this year. So I like to hire Sam Shade at Alabama A&M, and Alabama A&M has some players, man. And man, they quiet as it's kept, man. He gets some good pieces in there. If you actually take a look at it. So right now, if I had to really, really venture off the top of my dome, I'm gonna say Jackson State, FAMU, Alabama A&M. Then I'll come with Alabama State, and I think coming in last. Right now, I got Valley and Bethune pretty much right there with each other. Oh, okay, and Blue say Body's coming back as of today. Okay, they signed the kid from Howard. Yeah, they did. The guy who I wanted to start last season. Yeah, they did. Okay, so that's gonna be the thing. You know, if you know what they can do at the receiver position, what they can do at quarterback. But again, as good as a recruiting as Jack State's done, and Jack State is killing it right now. You know, nobody's roster settled, man, till middle of June. And signing day is gonna be good. We'll know a good portion of players is coming in, but I'm telling y'all, nothing is settled for every team. You're gonna have some players that's gonna leave after the fact. You're gonna have some players come in. And I think at that point in time, the bulk of the roster is set. We're not saying you're gonna have all these wholesale changes after signing day, but you're gonna have some significant pieces leaving and some significant pieces coming in. So that'll be the main thing with that, man. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you that Alabama State game probably was my favorite game to watch in the regular season last year. Man, honestly, I'm gonna tell you the Alabama State game was a good game, but we should have won that game bigger than what we did by my estimation. You know, we had 2 plays where we just came up short. The one pass that was underthrown to Fortillion, which would have been a touchdown had the ball been thrown, but it was underthrown ball, got picked off. But it was a good game, good atmosphere. But I would say my favorite game was the FAMU game, just for what it represented. It was a lot of talent on the field, and FAMU could do some things on offense. You know what I'm saying? And even in that game too, we had a couple plays that we left on the field, but to overcome the fact that we had 5 turnovers, to overcome that and win the game in the fashion that we did, that was the best game by far to me. Oh, but I also got to even mention the game when Jackson State plays Grambling in Vegas. Man, that same Saturday, man, you got Grambling versus Jackson State. You got Southern versus FAMU in Baton Rouge, and you got the Magic City Classic, plus Alcorn playing Valley. That same day. That's strong. That's strong. That's strong. That's going to be a huge weekend in the SWAC, you know. And again, we talk about, you know, having a different, you know, media rights deal. Now, what if you could package those games on one weekend? Those are attractive games, man. Grambling JSU in Vegas, FAMU versus Southern in Baton Rouge, the Magic City Classic in Birmingham, and you got Alcorn versus Valley. Man, that's a huge weekend that weekend. So Black State, Southern Jack State is a conference game again. Okay, cool. I love it. Gonna look to see if JSU can make it. What's that? It'll be 7 in a row. So that's gonna be a pretty big deal. Look, man, y'all drop some question in the chat. Look, I'm gonna drop this link, man, if y'all want to come up. And I'm gonna drop this link again for y'all, man. I had to switch some things up today. Drop that link, man. Come holler at your boy, man. Y'all want to come up? Gonna sit up here another 20 more minutes and try to think of some more stuff. Oh, yeah, look, next week we're gonna get in the signing day, and Lord willing, if things permit and they allow me to, I'm gonna do a signing day special if possible. Go live all day, and really break down signing day. Be the first time it's ever been done on the FCS landscape, and really break down, who got who, what it means, and then at the end of the day, on signing day, man, we'll actually get down to breaking down the classes and actually giving these classes a rank, letting you guys know what's up. Excuse me, because look, in the state of Mississippi, I can tell you exactly that this senior class in the state of Mississippi is outstanding. Mississippi is really deep. This senior class. Told you guys that in the class of 2024, same thing again with the class of 2025. Some good talent in 2026 too, but 2025 is loaded in the state of Mississippi. So we're gonna look to see. Yeah, Ms. Griffin, we'll see. I'm not gonna make any promises just yet, but if a few things line up, then yeah, we'll go all day live. Starting at probably 11 a.m. But I'll make that announcement as we get closer. But yeah, all day live on Saturday. Really break this thing down and get into it for you guys. Let me see here. Oh man. And pull some up here. I'm just for real. I'm gonna go to Taz too next year, man. I ain't never been down there. Oh, for real. Oh man, you're gonna love it. Oh, you're gonna love it. I can tell you right now, that game will sell out. That game will sell out in Tally-Ho. They got a crazy student body, and the fact that it's us, it's gonna be crazy. Really crazy. We got a big trophy for PV. Man, listen, y'all need to be down there fighting. Crook, you abusive. Swagger back so we could win against USM. We'll see. I hope so. It's gonna be a tough game for them, though. I can tell you right now, it's definitely not the same team from last season. Man, Charles Huffman's come in and did an amazing job for USM. Amazing job. Brought the quarterback in from Marshall. They won the Sun Belt last year, and that quarterback had a damn good year last year. Brought him down to Southern Miss, and Southern Miss is recruiting really good. They have upped their NIL, their collective, and man, they are playing some guys. They got a really good class. They will be a lot better than what they were last season. I can go and tell you that now. But even with that being said, Jack State's going to be a tough out for them. Jack State is extremely talented. Jack State team, for all accounts, will be a lot better than what they were in the 2024 edition. You look at, they'll be different with what they want to do on offense. Just look at personnel, you can tell that. Got receivers coming back. You're only losing, I think you're only losing Fabo. You got all your receivers coming back. Man, you upgraded and added some dynamic pieces. You look at the running back room. You lose Irv, but I mean, you gained Denaire Davenport, who is, man, a bigger Irv. Then you add Nate Blunt to that rotation. Man, it's gonna be crazy. And we'll say right now, this FCS top 5 in recruiting: Sacramento State, North Dakota State, UC Davis, Sanford, Tennessee State. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. If you're gonna say Fabo is gone, yeah, I think well, as of right now he is. I'm unsure in regards to if he got a medical hardship for that season. I don't know just yet. But as of right now, I would say eligibility is done unless you got a medical hardship, waiver. It's possible. It's just possible. And so, but even if he did, then he's coming back too. So, man, Jack State's loaded at receiver. Then you talk about Jency's coming back. I mean, and while I'm talking about it, let me hold on. Give me a second, man. Let me pull this up right quick. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Just got through. Hold on. Give me 1 second, you guys. This stuff in order? Yes, it is. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me 1 second. One second, you guys. Media. I just saw something right here. Since we're talking about recruiting, because this is going to be a game changer. All right, share. PDF. Standard. Let's see. Also. All right. I want to pull some up for you guys. Just give me 1 second. All right. 1 second here. Here we go. Pulls up for you guys. You can see this. Got a brand new today NCAA a lawsuit against the NCAA. It just got announced about a little over an hour ago. And the lawsuit actually pertains to eligibility. If you guys can actually see that. And it's actually coming from a former player who just used up eligibility. And you can actually see there in some of it. I'm going to get the rest of the documents up if I can try to pull it up this evening. But looking at trying to challenge the 5-year rule and actually add more eligibility time to players. And also in the language is trying to get an injunction. So some guys can actually play this upcoming season whose eligibility may have actually ran out, that fall under the parameters under which this guy's filed this lawsuit. So that's going to be crazy, right? Crazy. And if they get this injunction, it's going to allow a lot of guys to play this upcoming season. And we don't know what the language is going to look like in regards to adding another year to, some guys from last season or into the following year after the end of this season. Hey, you're right, Blue. And I'm really interested to see what the language is going to be like in this, because this is scary. And this is a very, very, very slippery slope. And let me kind of give you guys an idea. The only school in the country who really, really had guys that were really, really developed to play football and later on in life was BYU. BYU was known for having guys, 26, 27, 28 playing for them, because they would take their go on their 2-year mission trips, out the country. And, sometimes it was 2 years. In some cases, it would be 3 years. So they were the only school that was known for having young men like that playing for them. We're talking about doing something, and it's going to be the norm. The norm. Like literally, when you should be having 21-year-olds getting ready to graduate, right? And now we're talking about having 23, 24, 25-year-olds as the norm. These guys are trying to get 6 years and get paid for these 6 years, right? It's a very, very slippery slope. See, Blue, this clear is claiming that seasons at a D2 program shouldn't count. That's crazy. That's crazy. But the main thing, Blue, is that he's trying to get an injunction. So that means if that gets passed, then him and other guys whose eligibility would have expired can play. You know, to play until this actually goes to court. This is gonna be crazy, man. Crazy. Really, really crazy. So, but anyway, man, look, y'all, if anybody gonna come up, go ahead and come up. Like I said, I'm gonna drop this link again. If not, man, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Like I said, got some things brewing, gonna change some things, and we switched over today. So we could do interviews and everything else. I'm gonna set some things up tomorrow, make this thing better, man. And we'll hop into the news. And look, go ahead and announce this too. So starting next week, I'm actually change days just because of work and everything else. We'll actually same time go come on at 8:30 Central, and actually come on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're gonna actually start that next week. Come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and look, we're just doing that right now for this time of the year. We'll get into obviously more basketball scores, track and field, baseball in the spring sports, but just keeping it right now because pretty much football drives this thing. We all know it. Pick up a little bit more once spring season gets here, but man, the summer until we actually head out to SWAC Media Day and all the other media days, go pretty much just keep it Tuesday and Thursday. But when football season get here, we'll pick it up and do some things all throughout the week. We know how our bread is buttered. But look, I want to definitely, man, give y'all a shout out, man. Thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. And let's keep this thing growing if you can. Like, subscribe, comment, and we're gonna take the stairs, like I said, make this thing better. But look, I'm gonna get ready to roll up out of here. And look, we are out, man. I'll catch you guys next week again. Start next week. We'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, man, 8:30 p.m. Central. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Zone Coverage Podcast with your boy Zo Phillips, man. We out.